As an application of group theory in frieze patterns, we have frieze groups. By frieze, we mean a broad horizontal band of sculpted or painted decoration, especially on a wall near the ceiling. So this is one of the frieze pattern that we can see in balcony grill. And a frieze group is the set of symmetries. Now, what do we mean by symmetry? That is seen already. It's a geometric figure that preserve patterns. So, a frieze group is the set of symmetries of a frieze pattern under the operation one after the other. That is, we apply, say, suppose I have a transmission, say translation, and then after that I apply a reflection or rotation or whatever it is. So, that is the meaning, one after the other that we have. Now, in mathematics, a frieze or frieze pattern is a design on a two-dimensional surface that is repetitive in one direction. By one direction, we mean either right side it can go, or left side, or in both direction, but not upwards. That is not in the entire plane. In that case, we will have wallpaper pattern. So that is not discussed here. Now, such patterns occur frequently in architecture and decorative art. So here are a few examples. This is in Chennakeswar Temple, Somnathpura, Karnataka in India. And again the same temple but in a different view that we have this. And we have this is in Haileshwara Temple, Halebedu. And these are frieze patterns in balcony grills, and these are frieze patterns in textiles. Just for a sample that all these are given. Now, how do we obtain frieze patterns? See, for which we need to have a motif. Now, what do we mean by a motif? A recurring pattern in any artistic work. So, if we have this artistic work, in this we can see that this to be a motif. So, this motif occurs in almost this here we are going to have what do you mean by horizontal reflection, vertical reflection, glide reflection, and all that. So this pattern, this frieze pattern, is obtained with the help of a single motif. This now with the help of these isometries. Now, what do you mean by an isometry? It's a geometric transformation which leaves a figure invariant in size and shape. So these are the isometries that we are going to consider here. Translation, rotation through an angle 180 degrees, or it is also called a half turn. Vertical reflection, horizontal reflection, glide reflection. By that we mean a translation and horizontal reflection, or first horizontal reflection and then translation. Here the order can be changed. That doesn't matter. So that's called glide reflection. And to explain that, we shall consider this motif. See, in the previous one, we said that we have this one. So we have this one to be one motif, and the motif can also be like this, or like this. So in this case, to explain isometries, we consider this one. So when it is translated through some distance, this is what we have. This can be kept as such so that one pattern that we get, which involves only translation, and then by rotation or a half turn, we mean this. So when it rotates through 90 degrees, this is how it will look. And when it is rotated through 180 degrees, we have like this. And this one is vertical reflection, and this is horizontal reflection. And here we have glide reflection, horizontal, and then you have your translation. This is translated. Here you don't have like this vertical reflection, it's just translated. So horizontal and translation. So it could be even first translation and then horizontal. So any way we will get the same the same pattern only. So we have these translation, rotation, vertical reflection, horizontal reflection, glide reflection, that these isometries that we are going to consider in this frieze groups. So these 7 combinations. Now actually we have these 5 isometries. So when we consider them, we will have actually 16 possible combinations. Now with the help of group theory, using certain rules, that rules will be given later, 7 combinations give rise to the 7 groups. We will name them as F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6 and F7. They are termed as Fries groups. Now what are the rules? So here are the rules that we have. So rules for the combination: translation, reflection, and this is not reflection, this is rotation, vertical reflection, horizontal reflection, glide. Okay, so this is rotation through 180 degrees. Now in rule 1, what we mean here is, whenever we have translation, horizontal reflection and vertical reflection, whether you mention or not, and definitely there will be rotation through 180 degrees. So that is what this rule says. Whenever you have translation and then horizontal reflection, you translate and then horizontal reflection, then when you consider vertical reflection, this is what you get. And this when you rotate through 180 degrees, this is the shape that you get. When you rotate this motif through 180 degrees about this point, you will get only this pattern. So we have whenever we have translation, horizontal reflection and vertical reflection, automatically there will be rotation through 180 degrees. And whenever we have translation and horizontal reflection, definitely there will be glide reflection, because that is the definition of a glide reflection. So we will have, whenever translation and horizontal reflection, you have glide reflection. And whenever you have translation, vertical reflection and then rotation, you will have glide reflection. Whenever you have translation and then vertical reflection, and then when you rotate it through 180 degrees, this is what you get. So this is your glide reflection of this pattern. So whenever you have T, V, R, automatically G will be there. That is translation, vertical reflection, rotation gives you glide reflection. And then rule 4 is, whenever you have translation and then rotation through 180 degrees and then glide reflection, you will definitely have vertical reflection. So that we will see. Translation, you have this one under translation goes here, and then you rotate it through 180 degrees, this is what you get. And then glide reflection means what? You will have to have translation and then horizontal reflection. So this one actually, when you have when you consider this one, horizontal reflection of that will be this. The horizontal reflection of this will be this. So here it should have come here, then in that case it would have been very obvious. So you have translation, and then when you consider the reflection on this line, when you keep a mirror, then the reflected image will be this. So what is this actually? When you started with this and you have got this one after applying these rules, so which means that you get the vertical reflection of that. So that is what this rule says, that whenever you have translation and then rotation and then glide reflection, the resultant will be vertical reflection of what you have started already. And here in rule 5, you have translation, vertical reflection and glide reflection implying rotation. So you have translation and then vertical reflection. Then for glide reflection, you will have to have horizontal and then translation. So this is the glide reflection. So the resultant, this is the resultant. This is the pattern that you started with. This is the one that you started with, and this is the final image that you get, which is nothing but the glide reflection of this pattern. So this motif, and so we have this one. When you have, you can also say that, see, you whenever you consider this one, you can have this to be obtained by rotation. See, if you look at these two, you have them to be the same, which means this is obtained only by rotating the given motif thrown angle 180 degrees. The same motive finally you have got. So which means that your motive which is in this place is transformed to this by these transformations. So finally you arrive at that, and that is nothing but the rotation of the given one through an angle 180 degrees. So that is what rule 5 says. So we have rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 being given in this way. We have translation, horizontal and vertical implying rotation, translation and horizontal implying glide reflection, translation vertical rotation implying glide, and translation rotation glide implying vertical, and translation vertical glide implying rotation through 180 degrees. So keeping these rules in mind, now we will have, see, we have said that there will be 16 combinations. How is that we get 16 combinations? See, in the freeze pattern, we can see that translation is a must. So only by translating that we get the entire pattern. So translation is a must. So you cannot have just rotation alone, just vertical reflection, just horizontal or glide. So that is ruled out. So that means of the 5 taken one at a time, we have only T, the rest are not there. And we will now consider 2 at a time. So in that case, what all that we have? T and R, T and V, T, H, T, G. So TR, TV, TH, TG. You cannot have RV, RH, RG because T is not present. You know that whenever we consider the transformations, in that T must be present. So we cannot have, even though as such when we consider the combination they will be there, but here in this context without T we don't consider any of the combinations. So this is what we have: TR, TV, TH and TG. Now 2 at a time that we have taken. Now in this we rule out this TH for the reason that whenever you have T and H, glide should be there. So if it is not mentioned in that, then this has to be taken away. So we have only TR, TV and TG. Translation rotation, translation vertical, and then translation glide. Now coming to the transmission taken 3 at a time, we have TRV, TRH, TRG, TRV, TRH, TRG, and then we have TVH, TVG, TVH, TVG, and then finally we have THG. No other combination like RVH, RVG, VHG, RHG, all that are not considered because T is not present there. So these are the combinations that we can have, and we rule out that these are not possible using the rules what we have already mentioned. So that means we are left only with this. We know already that whenever T and H are there, G is there. So only this combination will work, the rest will not. So look at this TRV. So when you consider TRV, G must be there. So but here G is not there. So we rule out that. So that's by 3 you are ruling out this possibility. And then TRH, by TH means you will have to have G. So again that is ruled out. And then TRG by 4 should be V, and that is not present in the combination. So that is also ruled out. And then TVHR should be there. So that is also ruled out. Now on the last term, that is TVG, when we consider TVG means R should be there, that is rotation. So even that is not there. So I mean that R in the combination is not present. So we rule out all this, we take only this because that's true by THG by rule 2. So this one works. And in the same way, 4 at a time, when we consider using these rules, by rule 2 this one is ruled out, and by rule 1 this one is ruled out, by rule 4 this is ruled out. So we are left only with this. And then all together. So T with all the transformations together. So these are the possibilities. So when we count them, these are the 16 possibilities that we can have, combinations with T. So of which we have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in TRVG, among R, V and G, any 2 of the actions gives you the third one. So it is not a matter of doing either this or that or all the 3 together. So in this we mean that TRVG, so here if you look at TRG, automatically V comes. So all are present. So these are the seven combinations that we have. Now we will explain with the help of this motif that what do we mean by F1, the freeze group. We have said that there are seven freeze groups. So F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6 and F7. So how will my F1 look like? So once I have this motif, then my F1 with just translations, this is what we have. And then translation and glide reflection. So translation and this one glide reflection. So we have, this is the pattern. Translation and vertical reflection. Translation, so you have the motif first, vertical reflection, and then that one is translated. So you have this is the, once you put a mirror over here, you can see that this is the this one is the vertical reflection of this motif. So we have translation and vertical reflection, and translation and rotation. So when you have this motif, when you rotate it through 180 degrees, you get this. And then translation. Translation is a must. So to get a freeze pattern. So we have this to be translation and rotation, that gives F4. And in the same way, translation, vertical reflection, rotation and glide reflection, that gives this one. And translation and horizontal reflection gives this. Translation, rotation, vertical reflection, glide reflection, horizontal reflection. So all the five are here. Here four are present, and here all the five are present in this pattern. So we have these freeze groups as these are the explanation with this particular motif. We can consider any motif, and with that all the seven freeze groups can be illustrated. Now, suppose we are given a freeze pattern, then it comes under what category? So, do we have, can we classify the given freeze pattern? Can we classify whether it's of F1 type or F2 type or F3, F4, F5, F6 or F7? For that, flow chart is given, and this is how you proceed. First, you consider just see whether there is a vertical reflection. If it is yes means, then you go and see whether it has horizontal reflection. If that is the case, then it corresponds to something. And in the same way, if it is no means, then you ask for half turn, that is rotation through 180 degrees. And then yes means this, no means this. So like this, we can have a flow chart to classify the given pattern, whether it is in F1 or F2, F3 or F3, F4, F5, F6 or F7. Now we will have mathematical notation for all F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6 and F7. Just translation alone, it is the collection of all x raised to n, where n is an integer. X denotes a translation to the right of one unit. Now in all this, we can see that all of them have inverse. See, in the case of this translation, when I move it through 1 unit distance, then if I move it back again towards the left direction, if it is moving towards right, means when I move it towards left, that gives the place where it started. Okay, so in that case we get the inverse. So the set of all x raised to n, where n is an integer, where x denotes the translation to the right of one unit. This is how we can represent F1. And F2 is represented in this way, where x denotes a glide reflection. Now we said already that there should be translation and glide reflection, but when I represent this, when I just write glide reflection, then that is not allowed. But when I have glide reflection raised to 2, that means I am applying that 2 times, then I will get translation. So in that way, here it is hidden, that translation is hidden. Whenever we have even power, that will result in translation. Odd powers will correspond to glide reflection. And then for F3, we have the set to be the set consisting of x raised to n, y raised to m, where n and m are integers, with m taking only the two values 0 or 1. Then X denotes here X denotes translation and Y denotes reflection. So with this, when we consider the elements, when we list out the elements, we will have F3 what we have already given in the picture. So it will be the same translation and reflection. We have this that is your F3. In the same way, we have for F4, we have for F5. This is how they are represented, F4, and this is how it's represented. Here accordingly your X and Y are defined. Here X translation, Y denotes rotation, and here X denotes light reflection, Y denotes rotation, and so on. So now F6 has this collection of elements of the form x raised to n, y raised to m, wherein m are integers, and m takes the value 0 or 1. Here x denotes translation and y denotes horizontal reflection. So with this we can have this F6, and by considering all the 5, we have named that Freeze group as F7. For that, here we have x raised to n, y raised to m, z raised to k, where n, m, k are integers, and m takes the value 0 or 1, k takes the value 0 or 1. So we have here x denoting translation, y denoting horizontal reflection, and z denoting the vertical reflection. Now, if we have such a pattern, then can we call that to be a freeze? It cannot be called as a freeze for the reason that this is obtained from here by just having the skew transformation. Only we have this, and this one dilation, and this one distortion, and this one is by shrinking it you get. So these cannot be called as freezes. Now, freeze patterns are used in analyzing gait sequence. It's a tool used to assess the way in which one walks and runs. It can be beneficial that it can identify any overactive or underactive muscles in the feet. So for an athlete, whether is fit for the for participating in a competition, then he has to undergo this gait analysis. Moreover, freeze patterns are used in computer graphics also. So these 7 freeze groups, they play an important role in our daily life. Thank you.